or what I want to share to you guys today is the 10 metrics that you need to be tracking and measuring to hit that $1 million revenue, or even more. There's a lot of things to measure in the cleaning business, and there's a lot of reports that our softwares can help us do today. But there's really a lot of things that you don't need to track, that you waste time tracking, and you do need to track very key things that I think will make a big difference for you guys. Do you all see my screen now?
Yeah.
You do?
Yes.
All right, good. So let's get started. These are the 10 metrics: revenue and net profit. I know there's a lot of more things to track in the accounting side, employees, supplies, marketing, everything that really is needed for running this business. But at the end of the day, you need to be tracking, at the end of the day, is really your net profit after everything's paid, everybody's paid, all the bills are paid. You should be keeping ideally between 18-20% of net profit of all sales. I've seen businesses with a little bit more. There's people that probably hitting 25. Obviously, if you're still doing a lot of the job yourself, office work, phones, support, obviously your percentage will be higher. These 18-20% is when you're really managing the business as a business owner. You're not running every day the company. You are having an office person or manager. You have obviously your phone support, salespeople, and anybody that's doing your office work, inspections, trainings, everything. Some people might ask if your salary as a business owner is there or not. And we do have a salary that's in that 80% of expenses pretty much. And then 18-20% is mainly distribution. But we do have our own salary as employees. We're W2 employees of our own company, and we have our own salary there, just like any employee. And then 18-20% is really net profit, which is distribution that we take every quarter. And so essentially the percentage will be higher if you put in our salary there, but net profit, that's what should be going for when you have a full office working for you. So that is the primary number. So let's jump into the second one, and you guys can ask questions in the meantime if I'm going, all right?
Okay.
Number of subscribed clients. This is obviously the number of clients on either weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. I don't count people every 3 months, every 4 months, every year, every 6 months, because they are just occasional clients. They're really not your bread and butter. And it takes about 300 clients a month subscribe to your service, and 15 to 18 full-time employees to get you to $1 million in revenue. This business doesn't take thousands of people to make money. It literally takes 300 accounts, 300 homes out of 1 million homes in your city, or even more, that are possible clients. So if you ever ask yourself how many clients or homes I need to get to reach that goal, this is an average number in a large metropolitan area like in our city, Dallas. Obviously, if you're probably in a smaller city where you cannot charge as much, or a small town, probably you will need more. But obviously your cost of employees and the cost of operations is going to be less. So number of subscribed clients, typically most systems, you can run reports of like recurring contracts with Jobber that will let you know those numbers. I like to, we've built our own dashboard to keep track of that specifically, and cancellations. But you can, run reports on Jobber and all other systems that have recurring appointments built in. That way, you know exactly that number, and you should track that every month. Ideally, in my opinion, every week you should be looking at these numbers, because this really tells you how well you're doing and if your company is growing or shrinking. So that's a good goal to have. And but I'm sure you can reach that $1 million with even less clients if you're charging premium and you're doing some type of specialty cleaning.
How you do in Jobber?
In Jobber, there is a section to create a report that gives you, it's called recurrent contracts, I think. And that will let you know how many clients you have with recurrent appointments.
Okay.
And that way you can start tracking that number.
How do you track your KPIs? What software do you use?
We built our own. We've kind of, since we built our own, booking side of our website and all that, and we really just built it ourselves. It's custom made in-house. But I started using the spreadsheets and reports that I got from Jobber, and that's how I started doing it. And the metrics that I track, most of the times, most people don't track them. Some of them, some not. But you can start with just as simple as a spreadsheet. Obviously, as you grow, it gets more complicated. But these are 10 metrics that you really can do, and your office can do it for you, so you don't have to be on top of this yourself doing it.
So I was using a software, Simple KPIs. It's a good software.
Simple KPIs, okay. And do you plug in like Google Docs or spreadsheets?
Well, no, you can just put KPIs in there. I track the revenue, net profit, a lot of the similar things that you have. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, sure. I mean, use anything that works for you to get these reports and get these numbers. All right, let's move on to number 3, churn rate, or attrition rate, as they call it as well. Is the number of churn or cancel clients divided by the total number of customers. So of subscribed customers, let me clarify here. Subscribe, because we're tracking is really subscribed clients. You get one in a time clients, occasional clients. We cannot count them as in the churn because they are not a recurring client. So you want to track the number of your total cancel clients in a month. So let's say 5 clients cancel, and then you have 300 subscribers. So you take those 5 divided by 300. That's 0. That's basically 1%. Let's make it a bigger number. 10 divided by 300. That is 0.03. So that's 3%. So if you have 300 clients a month that you're sustaining and you get 10 cancellations, you're at 3% churn rate. The goal is to stay 5% or less. If you have more than this, obviously there's a smaller business that you have. If you have, I don't know, 50 subscribed clients and a couple of more clients cancel, then the impact is bigger. But a good rule of thumb number will be 5% or less. Now, how do you avoid churn rate to happen? And it just really goes to a couple of things. Is obviously the quality of your service. If you guys are doing great service, your employees are doing what they're supposed to do. Second thing is customer service on the phone, the billing, they're being charged what they need to be charged. Anything that's related to payments, billing, customer service, phone support, email support, chat, anything that's related to that. And 3, your inspections. So if you guys are inspecting your clients regularly, you should be catching problems before they catch them. So I recommend that you have somebody doing inspections on a daily basis. We have one person doing 3 inspections on a daily basis. And there's a schedule of, every, let me tell you exactly the schedule for that, because you want to have a system for this. And weekly clients, you should inspect them every 8 weeks. Weekly clients. Why? Because these are your most important clients. They're trusting you with every week visit. Bi-weekly clients every 12 weeks. And monthly clients every 16 weeks. So you should have a person doing that inspections, because they will catch problems. There's always problems. And there's most of the times customers don't mention them because they are just happy to, have a reliable company doing the work. But there's a point where they just get completely tired of the situation and they just cancel. And you're just like, what happened? Why you cancel? We've been having business for the last 2 years and you just cancel out of the blue. Why you never told me about it? And they're like, there was some problems that I just never had time to report you, but we're tired. We found somebody else. And you end up like, whoa, there's nothing you can do at that point. So in order to avoid that specific situation, you need to have somebody checking those houses regularly. That way you catch the problems. There's problems in every house. If you've been there doing inspections, you will catch problems in every house.
I have a quick question, Juan.
Yes.
How do you pay those quality people? Are they also cleaning, or they're just solely quality check people?
This is I call it a city supervisor or city manager, and he's only doing basically inspections, delivering supplies to our teams, doing small repairs when needed, like things that we damage sometimes that we don't need to call an expensive person to fix. He's delivering some marketing to homes when he's around the property. He's going into homes when we have like real complaints that are very serious. The client is asking for the full money. They're just completely aggravated and they need to see somebody in face to face. We send him to do that. So he's paid basically on a weekly basis, a flat rate salary. Obviously you can afford this person when you have a good sized business, but you can do it in a meantime. When you starting yourself, you can do it yourself, but as you grow your business, then you can have a part-time person doing this for you, and then eventually the full-time employee doing this work for you. Also, this person should take photos of all the jobs that they visit. They should fill a little inspection report with everything that the employee missed or failed. And you, as a business owner, you should get that email every day of all those inspections. When they go and take photos, obviously those photos are proof that he was there at these houses, because there's a timestamp on all the photos. And it helps you as well to see how the employees are leaving the houses. Obviously each employee should be taking photos before and after. That's a rule that we have. Before and after, they have to take photos and upload it to the system. But you never know. I heard people sometimes recycling photos from other days and then posting them. So you really want to get fresh photos, and that's the function of this person, to go and be your eyes in these homes. Because if you're focused on growing the business, you don't have time to go and do this yourself.
Excuse me, Juan.
Yeah.
Just a question on that. We're having privacy legislation sort of be all the talk right now, where I am, and like taking photos at a customer's home would definitely violate that.
Okay.
Yes.
So, well, if that's the case, depends on the cities, the counties, then, you can do it, or you need to get authorization from the client.
Yeah.
You could say, you know, it's for record keeping, tracking that your job is done properly. But if they don't want to, then that's it. You just have to fill the report of what you know, the inspection, and
Yes.
that's it.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. Thank you. All right. All right, let's move on to the next one. Customer to subscriber ratio. I don't know if you guys ever heard this, but this is the total subscribed clients divided the total of all service clients ever. So if you've been 15 years in business, whatever, and you've serviced, let's say 5,000 homes in all those years, you take and you say, okay, I have 500, or excuse me, 300 subscribers, and I cleaned about 5,000 homes in my total business life for this company. So you take this and you get 0.06, so 6%. And that number, should, you know, ideally between 8 to 10% of all the homes that you serviced. Obviously this number, no, I don't think Java or any other software services will give you this ratio. I just created this ratio because I wanted to know over all the years, how many, if we're really growing as a company in market share, because you want to keep growing year by year a percentage or something. That way, you know, your company is growing. And also this helps you track that, you know, for every 100 clients that come your door, you're retaining 8 to 10% of them.
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay.
That's what you're looking for. It's more of an overall.
The overall attrition, like
Yeah,
the percent.
you could call it like that. But you really want to track this customer to subscriber ratio, because this really tells you a lot about, in general, how your company is running. Support, phone people, you know, your inspectors, yourself, your employees, and you want to have track these over different years. Hopefully you're growing little by little, and this number is bigger than the churn rate. That's the only way to really keep growing and not shrinking year by year. Obviously this year has been very different and difficult, and I think these numbers won't make sense this year, but as we get back into our feet, you know, these numbers should continue to grow. So that's number 5, customer to subscriber ratio. Leads conversion ratio. So everybody that calls you, emails you, texts you, sends you an email on Instagram, Facebook, all of those people are leads. And typically at 25% on phone, it's, you know, a good point. If you have a really good support of people or salespeople on the phone, that should go to 40-50%. But that is when you have like stellar people on the phone and are amazing, and their voice is amazing, and they're just, when people call, they feel like they're talking to somebody they want to talk to. So I don't know if you feel that before, but when you call some companies and you have an amazing voice on the other line, you know, you end up being more receptive and probably buying more or, you know, spending more time on the phone, versus when you call somebody and they're just barely there taking your call and they want to hang up as soon as possible. So that matters. And you know, the voice matters. So and then 20% online. So in total, if you're, you know, all your ad spend for your company between online and phone sales, you should be closing about 40-50% of all your marketing efforts that are coming your company. If you hit, you know, bigger numbers than this, that will be amazing. That's impressive. But this is a good rule of thumb, and you know, that is how you should be tracking the leads to conversion ratio. Any questions so far? No? Okay. Number 7, revenue by zip code. Figure out your top 5 zip codes and grow your ad dollars only in that area. Why revenue by zip code? Because, you know, our cities are really divided by zip codes, and those zip codes really have a story behind them. Each zip code tells, you know, has an average price of a home, has an average buyer persona, has an average income levels, education levels, families are single, you know, single family homes, are these townhomes, are these condos. A zip code tells you really a lot about your customers. So if you track your top zip codes, then you won't spend money on zip codes that don't produce anything or not much. You really want to pick those 5 and have your SEO person or your AdWords person say, hey, just work these zip codes. Don't do the whole city. Even though you service the whole city, that's fine. But, you know, a way to really, you know, be more efficient with your marketing dollars is that you target zip codes and you focus on those zip codes and try to dominate them. Because, you know, it's really the only way that I found that you're effective with marketing, especially, you know, when we have limited amounts of our money resources for these. Larger companies, you know, multi-million-dollar companies, they can target the whole city and execute on those. You know, we are as small businesses, we can just, you know, tackle smaller areas and then, you know, wow them with our service. So has anybody's tracking these zip codes? I'm curious.
Not yet. I did some experimental, but no, I haven't deepened it. But I went to the map and I checked the customers,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't do it before. And now I did it, and I find out very specific 5 zip codes that I know the money isn't there. So
there you go.
It worked.
Thank you, Marita.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here in Bozeman, it's a small city. We only have 2 zip codes, but we know the areas where the homes that are more, you know, better homes, and we try to concentrate on those areas.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. I think eventually marketing, the Googles and all the Facebooks will eventually let us really like hyper target an area and say between this block, market to these people. So, but thank you, great comment.
Excuse me, Juan.
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't catch when you had asked about questions. I didn't catch you in time. Just a bit confused on the difference between number 4 and number 6. They seem like the same thing to me.
They look similar.
Yeah.
Oh, number 5 and 6?
4.
Oh.
No.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I think I didn't mention 4. Okay, booked appointments and booking ratio. That's total number of booked appointments divided total of booking requests. It's different because total, let's say you have, I mean, a person that's a lead can call but really never intended to book. It was just a lead, somebody called. But in the way I manage it is because in our system, when somebody goes and checks the price for the service, we consider that a lead. And then if they go and finish the process and book, that's a client. So out of all the intentions of getting the price, let's say it's 100 people that checked price, and then just 20 booked the appointment, then we have a 20% booking ratio. And this is also important on the scheduling side, because let's say you take all these bookings, but you cannot service them because there's employees not showing up, the schedule is too full, you don't have enough employees. So, you know, you have bookings, but you cannot clean them and charge for them. So you have to keep that number also. You need to know that from all the efforts that we make, all this, we can actually clean those, all of those, and really deliver the service to those homes. That's what's really booked appointments to booking ratio. And we should be 100%, ideally 95 to 100%, meaning that from every 100 possible jobs, we're cleaning 95 to 100 of them. If you're less than that, means that you either have your schedule's too full, or schedule is too empty, you don't have enough employees, or you have employees that are missing work, and then you have to cancel the appointment, reschedule, and then this creates problems. That's how I manage it. I don't know if that clarifies your question.
No,
Yeah,
it looks like the number 6.
Excuse me?
It looks like the explanation, it make it more close to the number 6 too.
Okay.
What is the difference between the 4 and the 6?
I mean, that's what I explained, the actual possible jobs that you can clean. Mm-hmm. Numbers, and that's number 4. Number 6 is really everybody that contact us, but they never really did a booking. So a lead is somebody that just comes and asks for a price. But the other one is like people that actually book the job and you service the job.
Oh.
Because there's a difference. A lead just calls and gets a price, and I track that. Now, booking, how do I call that? Booked appointments to booking ratio is, I booked these 100 jobs. How many I end up really cleaning? 90 of them, 80%, 90%, 100%. Because you have cancellations of your employees don't show up, your schedule has issues, you're not optimized, your employees couldn't make it to that job specifically because it got too late, they got delayed in the prior home. There's many things that won't allow you to clean all those jobs that you booked. So that's the difference. I hope that clarifies. Mm-hmm. All right, number of employees and sales volume per employee. Typically, a full-time employee that has a good optimized calendar, meaning 6 to 7 hours of cleaning per day. And if you're charging the right amount per labor hour in your city, you should be looking between $55,000 to $65,000 per year per full-time employee. So if we talk about, if we have 15 employees times $65,000 a year in sales, that's $975,000 per year. So when I go back to the prior slide and I said 300 clients and about 15 to 18 employees, that's how you make the $1 million revenue. So here you go 16 times 60, or you have 18 times 60 or 55, you're very close to hitting the $1 million revenue. If you're below 50, I think you are not optimized and you're not charging enough, or they are not doing enough cleaning hours per day, meaning they're driving too much or they're wasting too much time somewhere. Ideally, 6 to 7 hours per day, 5 times a day, 5 times per week, will give you, in average 6 times 5, will give you 30. Yeah, the real goal is 7 hours. And because the 8th hour is really moving from home to home and maybe taking a break here or there, but that is the goal, 35 hours per week actual cleaning, because we charge when we're cleaning, and that's the only time they pay us. They don't pay us for driving. Employee complaints and compliments. Count totals and assign a score to each event and employee. This is very important because you need to know how many complaints and compliments each employee is getting per month. Why? Because you need to know if this person is improving their skills or they are just getting worse by the day. Most of the times, a lot of clients complain, hey, this person started here, very good job, and 3 months later, she's not cleaning as well as she started. The only way to really know that employees are staying steady or improving their cleaning is to track complaints and compliments. And when you do that, you get a score, and that score tells you the quality of the employee that you have. This is something that we built in Pipehire, in which you track complaints and compliments, and each of those complaints and compliments have a score. And there's a formula that we've created that basically tells you the points, 0 to 5 points per employee. So it's like a rating, like Yelp rating. So we can have a leaderboard of all your top employees and their rating on the right. So that way you can see their employees over time, if they're improving or declining in quality. This also attaches or goes attached to the subscribers that you have. If you have a lot of complaints every month, your subscriptions go down, versus you have more compliments, then your subscriptions go up. So if you don't know this data, you don't know why you're getting cancellations. And you need to look at the macro level of the whole, company, and then you need at the micro level of each employee to know exactly who's failing and why these customers are canceling. So that is really what you need to be tracking from employees' performance. Average sale size and revenue by square feet. So we track this basically that we take 100 bookings and you say, let's say it's $10,000 in sales for 100 bookings. And then you have to track what's the average sale amount in average in all those 100 bookings. What you want to see is obviously a steady or growing pattern, because that means that people are finding value in your service and they're not calling to negotiate or haggle on the phone. So if you charge 40 an hour or 50 an hour, and your average sale size is, let's say, $200, if you start to have problems, bad reviews, your average sale size will be less over time. It's like in a restaurant. When you go into the restaurant and you're a waiter, they ask, the waiter offers you, once you finish your main course, offers you coffee, ice cream, dessert, more things to increase the average sale size. And you can do this if you have an online booking in your website or on your phone. You can always offer add-ons. The add-ons helps you grow your average sale size. So you can offer inside fridge cleaning. You can offer doing AC vents. You can do ovens. You can do in very detailed cleaning inside cabinets. You can do garages. You can do patios. You can do outside furniture. And that's a way to increase average sales per booking or per job. And obviously this has to be done very carefully, and you have to, if you're doing it on the phone, you have to have your phone person trained to really explain the value of it and how much it costs. So we calculate it as well as just like cleaning a home inside. We'll multiply an amount of time times or cleaning hour, labor hour, and that's how we get a price for that. And then revenue by square feet, obviously, we calculated because we have a chart And this is something that I don't know how you're pricing your service, but there's many options to price a service. But we have a formula in which we charge between 11 to 13 cents per square feet. So if you have 1,000 square feet home and you're charging 13 cents, then that's $130 per cleaning. So there is moments of the year, such as Christmas, Thanksgiving, that you can charge more per square feet, thus increasing revenue per square feet because there's more demand. And that's something that we do when there's many bookings and there's very little spots. You can charge a little bit more on those days and those times of the year. Now with the coronavirus, obviously nobody's increasing their prices, but keeping at the same price, maybe lowering a little bit in order to get back, the marketing, the money flowing. But you can always increase revenue by square feet by doing, I call it surge pricing. When there's a lot of work, then you can charge more. When there's less work, then you have to charge a little bit less. So that's pretty much the 10 things you should be tracking. I don't know if there's any questions for you guys. This is a short but powerful subject. Anyone has questions? Anyone wants to add anything?
Ate my lost tooth.
Hi, Juan.
Hey, Gina.
Hi. What I find, we have square footage question when we get a new lead, and I find that nobody here knows their square footage. And it's, I wonder if you could do it by like bedrooms, number of bedrooms or something like that.
Currently, how do you charging, or what's your pricing module? Do you charge per
So
bedroom,
we charge,
per square feet?
we're doing it all wrong. I have done for years as I'm learning doing the CDF. So we've been charging by the hour.
Okay.
So yeah, we're doing it all within that prescribed hour, which I'm learning is not the way to make money.
Well, there's two things. There's a relationship between the hourly rate, which is, let's say, $40 an hour, or more if you live in a more expensive area. And there is an amount of money you charge per square feet. Those things are separate.
Right.
And what you do is you say 13 cents, 1,000 square feet, that's $130. That's the price. Now, how many hours of cleaning time you assign to this job for $130 is when your price per hour comes into play. So let's do the example here. So $130, right? And you say, how much did you charge per hour, your labor hour?
How much? We're charging 35, which is
okay,
really low.
So you are assigning technically 3 hours and around almost 45 minutes to this job, right? So you tell your employee, hey, stay in this house 3 hours and 45 minutes, more or less. Now, if you charge 40 an hour, what happens to the number? Then goes down to 3 hours and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Now, if you're in San Francisco and you're charging 60, then you're gonna be in this house for 2 hours. So this is, as I said, it's a relationship between these two. And the price of the square footage is the price of the square footage. And the assigned time of your employee is the assigned time. And you determine how many hours you assign to this job based on this number. If you're charging 50, 2.6. If you're charging 60, 2 hours. And that's how you determine how many hours you block into the employee's calendar for this specific job. So how do you get those 55 to 65,000 per year per employee? Is when you're charging obviously the right amount for your market, and that's how you get basically more dollars per cleaning that you perform. I don't know if that explained the question.
Yeah,
I have
yeah,
a,
that's helpful.
I have something to say. I do all the, I go for the estimates. I give people free estimates.
Mm-hmm.
And, but just entering a house, I know exactly how much to charge. And I don't ever tell the person the timing. And because I have 2 or 3 girls working and they ask for timing, I said I do by the job. Because as these girls get to be so good, they can do faster and I have a more profit. If the house is very dirty, it's a move out, or a person, the first time I do, it's very dirty. I charge a pretty high price at the first time. And then as the person stays with us, the price goes down some. But they're getting to the point that doing all these estimates, it's very hard to train a person to do estimates. With so many years of doing it, I just go there, I look, and I know. And I know the profit I'm going to have. But to teach that to, to pass this torch to somebody else, I actually don't know how I would do that. Unless this person comes with me several times and then gets, an idea of what that is. But I am the estimator, and generally I'm right on the dot, but maybe doing by square foot is the next way to go. I don't know.
Thank you for your feedback. Yes, most of us really start doing that when we have enough time. Obviously, you're in a smaller city, and that probably is more, that's possible. When you're in a metropolitan area that's large, there's a lot of traffic. You can't afford to do that because your whole day will be gone in just traffic. So obviously that changes from market to market, but I debated over years about charging per room, per bathroom, per bedroom, per this, per that. But really the tried and true way to price it is by square footage, because, let's say you have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, the typical house. Those homes that are 1,000 square feet that have 3 bedrooms and 2 baths. But there's also homes that are 3-bedroom, 2 bath that are 1,600, 1,800, 2,000 square feet, because their bathrooms are bigger, their areas are bigger, but the count of bedroom and bath is the same. So you cannot charge the same price for a 1,000 square foot home than for a 2,000 square foot home, even though they are 3-bedroom, 2 bath. So when you go with that model, you're leaving money on the table and you're underpricing your service. When you charge by the square footage, you're charging exactly for the amount of square foots that are in this house. Now, if the customer doesn't know the square footage exactly, you can just jump into Zillow or Realtor.com, and there's many sites that have this public information, even county records of, their county's bills. You can see the square footage sometimes. And I will say 80% of people know their square footage. The other 20% that don't know it, you just look it up online and you'll find it. And then you just have to decide how much to charge per square feet. Now, that depends obviously in your city, market, but one of the questions that we ask is, how long was the last time you cleaned your home? Oh, no, I just cleaned it last week. I had somebody else cleaning it. Oh, good. All right. 13 cents a square feet. No, I haven't cleaned it in 3 months. Okay, 14 cents per square feet. I haven't cleaned it in a year. 16 square feet. 2 years, 20 cents. So you really have different prices of square footage based on the amount of dirtiness or the time that they have not cleaned this home. So that's how you increase your price per square feet based on how long they took how long was the last cleaning to this home. We've proven this for years, and this has worked the best for us. There's people that's to do the estimates, and that's fine. You can do it if you still want to do it. But if you want to grow your business, you want to scale your business, you have to let this go and really, quote it on the phone. There's people that say that in-person works a lot better. I'm sure it does, as far as presentation, professionalism, and maybe closing the sale, and seeing what the job it is. But when you really want to grow, that's a limiting factor. And in our opinion, we have not done an estimate in 10 years or more, and we have not needed or found the need to go and do in-person estimates. Now, what happens if a house you come and it's just horrendous and it's so dirty that you cannot clean it? I mean, you tell your employee, hey, if this house is really out of this scope, then call us. We'll call the customer and say, look, Mr. Customer, this house is so dirty that, what you told us on the phone is really not what's really going on in this house. We can clean it for you, but it's going to cost you a little bit more. And then you price it again. And that's how we handle when there's big difference between the reality and on the phone.
Well, great. That's a great help for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Maurice, go
I
ahead.
just had a comment. I was thinking right now with the, coronavirus, is a good time to pivot and do the quotes over the phone. Because I think people are more open to it.
Totally. Now more than ever, really.
Yeah. This week I just did one estimate in FaceTime. The customer showed me the house, the bathrooms, the living room, everything. I was able to see that it's a very new house, very nice. I already knew more or less the estimate because for the size, but when she showed me this room doesn't need to be done, I saw the kitchen, the toilet. So I was able to give you the price by phone.
That's good. Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, that's a great idea. I'm just going to do that.
Try and see what happens. There's, really these phones that we have these days are so powerful that, you will see in good quality what's going on in this house. And I think you will save a lot of driving time and frustration. Maybe you can close more sales on the phone that, on in person. I think Maurice was going to say something. So I think I saw you or not. Okay. All right, guys. Are there any more questions?
Oh, I have 10,000 questions, but I have to go somewhere.
All right. I have 8 minutes left. If you guys have any more questions, I'm glad to help you answer them.
Okay.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
I have gotten to the point where I just am not getting leads, and I will kind of target better. Do you have any other suggestions into, like, should I do some actual on the ground type stuff, or what are your suggestions to quickly get leads?
Sure. Are you in a big city or a small city?
I'm in a small city.
Okay. And is more like a rural area or?
Yes, Florence, South Carolina.
Okay. And what has worked in the past?
Home Advisor, Yelp. It's just that they get so expensive and they take money unexpectedly. So I'm looking for a better way.
Okay. Well, there is the way, there is the paid marketing strategy, which you pay for ads. It's Google ads, Yelp ads, Facebook ads. And obviously that traffic is paid. You pay for it, and you need to know exactly how much you're spending and what's the cost per acquisition. Typically $40 to $50 for a recurrent client seems a good amount. There's people paying more than that depending on the market. But you need to figure out how much you spend to get a client. That is your first metric that you need to know. If you spend $50 to get a client, then and you clean this house for $100, then you have $50 left. You pay your cleaning employee $40, and then you have pretty much $10 left profit. Then it's too expensive for you to pay $50. Now, if you pay $50, but you charge $300 for the job and you pay your employee $100, then there is a good portion left for you. So you need to know exactly that number, and I think you can get it. If you've already been paying for leads, you should try to get that number. Then the next step we're really to know is your website optimized to your city? How are your leads, your Yelp page, your Google reviews, how are your reviews doing? That way you are showing up in the results when people are searching, which is basically free traffic, free organic traffic. So that is something that you need to be aware as well. I don't recommend always just going by free or by paid. You need to have both strategies well developed and organized in order to really have the best of the two worlds. You should have your paid method that you're happy with and is making you results, and you should have your free strategies that are making are making it happen for you. Now, I heard, and I haven't not done it, but I heard of people, in smaller cities, towns, they just go into Facebook groups that are very targeted to, moms or people that are stay at home or workers, and just very niche groups. And they just develop relationships in those groups and eventually pitch them that you offer cleaning services, they need help. Some of those groups don't allow you to post like ads or sales things. Some do. So that's a free way to start to get leads. Obviously this takes longer because you have to develop those relationships, and it's not 100% effective. But again, you have to have your free, your paid, and your other strategies to really acquire. My favorite one, and that I really love, and is Yelp. In my opinion, Yelp in my city, in my market, it's the best for my industry. Obviously, we have tons of reviews, and that's really, when somebody searches in Google for house cleaning, then we're the first or second result, and then tons of positive reviews. There's some bad ones, of course, just like anyone, but the majority of them are good reviews, and that brings traffic. I do pay for Yelp ads sometimes when I need to, but I can control them up and down as I need. But in my opinion, Yelp has such following and people that really love Yelp, that they know if they find a 4 to 5 star business, that they will have a good experience. And if you're a Yelp user like I am, it's literally, when you go at a place that says 4 or 5 stars, the experience is good, and people tend to trust that review as something that is tried and true, and that really converts.
I work with a company called Dex Media, and I paid $200 a month, and they connect with Google, Yelp, and Bing, all these other engines. And I just have this $200 budget, and I ask my clients to put the reviews there. And this is what generates mostly my leads, and some referrals too from clients. But I find that Dex Media is very reasonable for $200 to generate a lot of leads, and they do all the connections with all the other engines. So that's what I do, and it's working.
Good. I heard them, but I have not used them. But I'm looking at, they're called Thrive now, right? I think.
Well, they got, yeah, they just got purchased, but it's still
Okay.
Max Media, and it's reasonable. I think they're $200 a month. I just have 6 employees, and I can afford that. But it's very helpful. Yeah.
Cool. Well, yeah. I mean, you have to find what works for your market, for your city, and optimize it.
And I think if you haven't tried postcards, you know, people are getting less mail now, so they're starting to respond a little better to postcards. I found out, you know, I've been using postcards for a while now and doing better.
What city again you are, Brian?
Sarasota.
Oh, okay. You know, I haven't never done postcards, but I mean, you have to try things that eventually something will work, and it changes over years. Now, you know, maybe 20 years ago there was converting more, now it's less, but it changes over, you know, as people habits and changes. So
with the postcards with your current customers, you can do, they call them 5-arounds. You send postcards to the 5 houses right around your, you know, the one you're servicing. Yeah, that really works really well. You just, you know, you can have a picture of the community, you know, especially gated communities. You could have the picture of the entrance, so that way, you know, they know that you service that community.
Is that through Send Jim or what?
Yeah, I've done it through Send Jim.
And what do you think about Send Jim? I heard of them a lot.
No, I like it a lot.
And that's how you're doing yours 5 around?
Yeah, yeah. And they also, you know, have other things too. It's a really good software to use.
Cool. Yeah, I met him in Dallas, but I haven't started using it. Thank you for sharing. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right, I have to go, but thank you so much for
thank you, Christina.
for the help.
Thank you, everyone. I hope this was helpful for you.
It was.
We'll see you guys in 2 weeks. We're doing about every 2 weeks webinars, and you can find us on our Facebook groups or on our website, Pipehire HRM. If you have any questions, we'll be glad to help you. All right.
Thank you much.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great night.
Yeah, you too, Juan. Thanks.
See you. Bye-bye.